his fault, but some of it was. Some of it was self-inflicted wounds because I think when he got with Matchroom, he was cool with getting the $2 million fights, fighting against less than stellar opposition. But at the end of the day, I think it caught up with him yesterday, eventually. But Benavidez is a bad boy. A couple other things that I just touch on, and I'm going to turn it over to my good fella, Ty. And that is the punch stats. So if you look at the punch stats, it was different at the beginning. And so you see the jabs, Boo landed 19 to 15 jabs of Benavidez. When it came to the power shots, that's when it just got ugly. After once he dropped them, like you say, Vail, that was the end of the fight. But the other thing too, Andrade showed a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying? Like he was in there, like, and sometimes he was just missing with some of them power shots that he was throwing. But he's like, man, I'm gonna go out on my shield. And then the total punch, you have 117 Benavidez landed 35% of the shots. That's high for fighting against somebody who's defensively as tricky as Andre could be. And Andre landed 68 of 259. But the onslaught was going. So the last thing I'm going to say is this. I don't know. I didn't catch Andre, if he was saying he quit or he wanted to quit. I just saw the corner when he was talking to the referee. And then he said, if you don't show me something, I'm going to stop the fight. And he's like, stop it. You know what I'm saying? Now, Andre, you have him come off of that next round, it would have got ugly because not only was he damaged physically, that man was dog tired. Like he can barely breathe. Like it took him a long time to catch his breath. And so that's why I was like, that's a good stoppage right there because I don't want this dude to mess around, pass out, the ambulance and all that type of stuff coming because he out there fighting for his life. And then he'd literally be fighting for his life. But all in all, good performance. I think both guys shouldn't hold their head. Andre, he took on the monster, the boogeyman, and he left it all on the line. So great stuff from both guys. I had to pay for the fight yesterday because my guy who I get my stuff through, he didn't come through, but it was well worth the $75, man. What did you think though, Ty?
Man, awesome fight. Prior to the stoppage, hats off to both guys. Andrade did beautiful work in the first 3 rounds. His combinations, like his unorthodox style, the way he was moving. So he surprised me. But I did expect the fight to go the way it did. I just didn't expect it to happen as soon as it did. I had Benavidez probably like a late round stoppage, but he did it. He got him out. His like 6th or 7th round. The corner stopped it. But yeah, hats off to both guys, man. I like what Benavidez did too. He was throwing a lot of straight hands. He was throwing a lot of uppercuts. So it was an awesome performance, man. I think they definitely closed the show to be the last Showtime pay-per-view card of the year. So all around, the whole card was good, man.
Okay. One other thing I got for you fellas before we go into the mall fight, and that is, what do you think about this? So Benavidez, he says, if Canelo's still ducking this smoke, I go up to 175 and go ahead and deal with Bivol. Now, first thing, so two things here. Before I even ask that question, let me go ahead and, because Chris G, that's what I thought. So Chris G says Andre didn't quit his corner stop. That's what I heard.
No,
Vail is making an allegation. You know what I'm saying? He's putting that out there.
I didn't say he quit. I just said before his brother said stop it, he looks to his right and he said something to his father, which sounds like stop it. I'm gonna post the highlights YouTube and I'll let y'all decide.
Okay, but I'm just saying what I heard. That's a tough allegation on the man. Say that. But anyway, so Vail put that in the chat. Hopefully it's not doctored. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's how they be doing in 2023. But anyway, he said, bro, I didn't think Andre really had a shot to win. I think he's a good boxer, but not as good as Plant. I don't know. That's tricky. That's close. You know what I'm saying? I can't say yay or nay, when it comes to that sort of thing. I think Plant is physically more able to take more. You know what I'm saying? And Plant didn't catch that shot that he got caught with too. Like, and then what Andre, yeah, man, I didn't like how he was trying to just, parry or not move with the shot. He just kind of just took it flush, and once he did that, it was a wrap. But anyway, getting to the question, Chris G throwing some really good stuff out there, but I do want to get to this here. Who would you favor in this matchup here, right? So would you favor Bivol or Benavidez if they were to lock horns at 175 first and foremost? Second part of the question is this. Do you think Benavidez should entertain this right now, or should he wait this out? You know what I mean? And kind of force Canelo's hand at 168.
That's a hard question because it's dependent on, can Benavidez, if he goes up to 175, can he come back down safely? If he can,
before you even do that, then you going right down Canelo's alley. Then Canelo gonna have the advantage that he's looking for. He's gonna Terrence Bud Crawford you. Oh, you want the 175? You just fuck. Yeah, come on down now. I'm ready. And then you're gonna sit up there. He already looked like it'd be taking him, a long time to be making that 168. He got to make sure that he's doing everything properly. Then you go up there 7 pounds north. You come back down. You're a little weaker. Then Canelo is gonna want to smoke. That's just how. That's just.
But if he stay, will Canelo fight him? There's no guarantee. Just like Andrade was chasing Canelo, and there was no guarantee. So who will Benavidez fight at 168? What he can do, I'll tell you something he can do. If he's going to stay at 168, to this point, he can fight Demetruis Bivol, who Bivol say he can make 168.
Yeah, he could. I don't think. See, here's the thing. Two things with that. One, I don't think he's that type of guy. I think that if he fights Bivol, he wants Bivol at full strength. Like that just seems like he's not built from that. Trying to catch a dude like that type of thing. But the other thing is, who is Canelo gonna fight? He's already in a situation. They're like, you ducking this dude now. He done beat Plant. You know what I'm saying? He done beat Andrade. Like, what else you want the man to do? You know what I'm saying? You sitting up here fighting Munguia. Oh, come on, bro. Like, you can't just keep doing that. See, now he put him in like a little bit tighter bind. Now, you also mentioned Andrade. Andrade wasn't doing that. He wasn't fighting like the other dude. He wasn't fighting Charlo. He wasn't fighting Lara. He wasn't fighting Golovkin or somebody like that to kind of force his hand. That's what Benavidez is doing. He forces his hand because he's knocking off the other dudes. You could say Morrell, but I'm kind of skeptical on Morrell. I just think that a dude with like 6-7 fights, he's going to end up, it's going to be the same way because, again, the difference between a pro and an amateur is that stamina. What's going to happen when that Mexican monster is chopping at you 6th round, 7th round? Are you still going to be looking the same way you were looking in the first 3-4 rounds? You've never been in that situation before. So that's what I'm saying. Like, then who's Canelo going to fight? So I just think he's putting himself in a better situation where he's cornering Canelo, where other dudes just wasn't doing. They're just waiting for the Canelo fight. But anyway, Ty, what you think about those things?
Yeah, if he can't get Canelo, then I have no problem with him, going up to 175 to challenge Bivol. You know what I mean? And as you mentioned, Morrell, I would like to see Morrell as well, but I just believe Morrell doesn't have enough experience under his belt. I do believe he's a fresh fighter and he'll have a lot to give in that fight. But yeah, if he can't get Canelo and he can't get Morrell, then yeah, I have no problem with him going up to 175 to fight Bivol.
Pardon my language here, folks. But that young man, Morrell, is take a fresh ass whooping from Benavidez right now. If he don't get his weight up, like he got to start fighting better caliber opposition because you're just going to be a younger Andre. You haven't faced anybody really, and then you sitting up there trying to get that work from somebody like that. I think that's going to spell trouble for him. He's going to be tough early, but once that going get tough, what you going to do, good brother? Anything else we got on the monster? He the monster to me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't Mexican, El Salvadorian, Dominican, anybody can.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. Like they kept bringing that up. Like he's not Mexican, he's this, he's that. I'm like, is that what we doing?
It don't even matter. Like what he's doing, like he's very impressive, man. Yeah, let me go ahead and go to my bad.
I'll add something, man.
Okay.
I'll just add that Morrell does have a fight next month, and let's just see, like, if he does get the victory, let's see, will what's he gonna say, in his in his post conference, like after the fight, if he wins, let's just see if he does call out, Benavidez. I don't think he will, but let's just see. And far as Andrade, I wanted to mention as well that he was working with Snack. So I seen a lot of videos of him working on his strength and conditioning. So I was still skeptical of him, being able to go to 4-12 rounds with Benavidez, and like he looked tired. He looked tired in that fight. Like after the first knockdown, like he looked tired, man. His face was messed up. So I agree with the stoppage 100%.
Absolutely. The thing is, that was the only concern that I had going into the fight. I thought that he had a legitimate shot if he was able to have enough stamina to make it through. I knew it was going to be some rocky moments there, but I just thought his left hand stand, I thought he was a little bit more defensively responsible too than he actually is. Sometimes he allows certain punches to get in where if you fight a lesser caliber opponent, you can get away with that, but not against that heavy-handed monster. The other thing, what I noticed when I saw him, and you were at that fight with the Nicholson guy, he looked fatigued in that fight. But he was coming off a long layoff, and I'm like, it's his first fight at 168. Once he go ahead and just get kind of acclimated, then he's going to be better, and he's going to push himself more because he's fighting somebody that has his antenna all the way up. That's what I was thinking. But I don't care where his antennas was. You understand what I'm saying? Yesterday, because the Mexican monster, El Salvadorian monster, he was just too much. Now, Chris G, you going back to where you saying that Andrade is better, or Plant is better than Andrade. So you telling me that the fact that it's a 7th round TKO victory or stoppage, that makes Plant better than Andrade? Is that what you're saying? Because I've seen guys get stopped, in fights. That don't mean that the guy who lasted longer is better. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't.
You're right. I see your point, Will. My point. Well, thinking about that, I think Plant, he had a better game plan against Benavidez, and also it was certain shots that he didn't get hit with that Andre got hit with, like that right hand right over the top. He got hit with it early. Like those are shots that Plant had enough head movement to avoid, and it wasn't until those body shots started to take a toll, in the second half where he started getting hit with big shots.
Yeah. I'm just saying that don't mean that who's better though. You understand what I'm saying? They just provide different. It's a different puzzle. You understand what I'm saying? And what comes more prepared. I just think, you think about Plant. Plant had the ultimate, dance partner before that to learn from. So he fought Canelo, then he comes back, and then he fights the dog after that. So he has like legitimate top opponents that he's facing at 168. Andre don't have any of those guys. That he's 35 and he still hasn't really faced anybody like I was damn near say the dog. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the difference to me. It's just like when you have that competition. Now, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just Andre's tough though. He's still tough. It's just the Mexican monster just had his number yesterday. Bill, what you talking about here? You talking?
Oh no, that's some stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I just wanted you put it out there, so I just wanted to,
I know. I ain't saying I never. For the record, I never called Andre the quitter. He took a lot of punishment. I'm just saying what I saw. I mean, truth is true.
All right. Well, you called him a quitter. All right, so now,
no, Ergashev is a quitter. It's a different story. Ergashev is a quitter.
And my man right here, he said he has nobody else to fight. I agree. Like he getting to that point, unless now. He can always do this though, like Canelo, because you got Crawford who's out there. He can always pull something like that, and we'll see. We'll see what he's going to do with that. But also on the undercard, you got Jamal Charlo, not to be confused with Mel. He said he's pleased with his victory over Jose Benavidez. Before I turn this over to you, fellas, one thing I don't like, I saw him getting some cobwebs off. He started looking more and more. He has some stuff that he brings to the table. Like he has some talent. I'm still concerned about this kid, man. Like when I'm listening to him in a post-fight interview, he just didn't sound right. It just seemed like something's off with what he's saying. Like it doesn't match. Like his tone and everything is like he sounds down, but then he's saying that he's excited, but something's not right mentally and psychologically with him. I just thought that this was a good fight to get some cobwebs off. Unfortunately, he wasn't, on weight, which shows a little bit of lack of discipline. I shouldn't say a little bit, but it shows lack of discipline. And then some of the comments he was making leading or going into the fight, that didn't sound, promising either. But anyway, what are your thoughts on Maul's performance against Jose Benavidez Jr.?
Yeah, first off, I saw what you saw, Will, as far as his interview. It's interesting because when I listen to both Charlos, I can hear their voices and I can tell them apart.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand, I know their tones. So Jamal's tone was just a little off, like that don't sound like Jamal. But it was a performance where he was getting those cobwebs off and trying to get his feet wet back in the ring. I thought Jose Benavidez Jr. was a great opponent to do that against. The only issue I had is him coming in overweight and then showing up. He's kind of looked flat a little bit as far as look. He came in overweight against an opponent who was overmatched anyway, so he has his advantage over him. And Benavidez just couldn't really do anything. And he was hitting Charlo with some clean shots too, and especially early in the fight, he was snapping Charlo's head back a little bit with straight shots. But he didn't have the power behind it to really do anything. Like if Charlo was in there with a top opponent, it would have been different. But yeah, this is a fight to get his mojo back, and I think he did just that. There were times throughout the fight where he started showing shades of himself, doing a lot of things that he normally do, and really trying to, like they say, it's kind of therapeutic for him. He's away from, whatever distractions that he has outside the ring. He doesn't really focus. He don't need to focus on that while he's training. And also, Ronnie Shields is a okay trainer who legitimately cares for the kids. So all those things are positives. Benavidez, I mean, he showed, like we always knew, that he's a tough guy. He can take a punch because he took some really, really hard shots. Because I know there's no way you can, even though it's his brother, there's no way you can spar with David Benavidez and not grow in the amount of punches you can take. So toughness for him going forward is not the case. The case is that he's just way too small for this division. And what he brings to the table it's not going to be enough on a high level at 168. So if I were him, hopefully he can make 154 again, if not 160, but he definitely doesn't belong at 168. But as far as what I saw from Jamal, I think he's doing the right thing and trying to get back, especially after a long layoff. So what were your thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Ty, go ahead and cook. Y'all go ahead and cook on this. Something's wrong with my computer. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and chop it up. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First thing I want to say is, hats off, to Jamal, for getting the victory, coming off a 2.5-year layoff, the mental health issues, the personal issues. So I was just glad that, he was able to pull it off. That was definitely, a tough assignment to do, and he got the victory. So, I'm happy for him, but I agree with both of you guys, as far as saying that like something was off. Like you can see it. You can see that at the press conference, when he was talking and everything, like something looked off. And when he got in the ring, and, when they were doing the announcements and everything, he still looked off. So, and like the post interview, when the guy was talking to him, like he wasn't really answering the questions right away. He was pausing. So like something definitely seemed off. So I just hope that his next fight would be like another nice tune-up fight, not like a big name. I would like to see him get in there with Caleb Plant, but at the end of the day, man, I'm just happy he got the victory. Jose Benavidez definitely showed his grit and his heart. He took some big shots. He paused a lot of times after he took those shots, but he never went down. So hats off to Charlo for getting the victory, and hats off to Jose for standing there, even though this isn't his real weight division.
Yo, so Ty, what would you like to see next from Charlo? Like, who would you put him in there with as a next fight?
That's That's a tough one. That's a tough one, man. I see that he called out Adamas. I don't want to see him in there with Adamas. You know, Adamas got a lot of power. I will just say Caleb Plant based on the smack. I will just say that I didn't like the way he got smacked, you know, but at the end of the day, he's the one that started the whole thing. So you know, as I mentioned last night, you know, Caleb Plant was talking about, you know, that he had some big news or he had an announcement. He's never came out with no announcement yet. So if Caleb Plant don't have no dance partner, I wouldn't mind to see, you know, him and, you know, Maul in there, like, you know, early next year, like, you know, spring or, you know, May or sometime next year or something like that. So I wouldn't mind seeing that fight, but Plant's really the only name that I can really think of as far as right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if he's even ready for that yet. But that wouldn't be a bad fight for him because, you know, 2.5 years is a long time. Jose Benavidez, what I did like is that he did get the rounds in. It wasn't a quick 2-round, 3-round thing, which I think would have been even more detrimental. But I don't know. I had to look down the line, man. Will, so
yeah, I was just happy. Yeah, like I said, I was just happy that he was able to get, you know, go 10 rounds. I'm glad he didn't get an early stoppage because he needed to go all the rounds, man. So he definitely needed that. So for sure.
Yeah, best case scenario for him. So Will, what fight you would like next for Jamal Charlo?
It's a good question. I think as I look through, I'm looking because he's gonna have to stay at 168. What about that might be a little bit too much. Oh, you know they can put him in there with. You know they can put him in there with, and it's gonna kill two birds with one stone. It's gonna be kind of a tune-up-ish fight, but it's also gonna be a nice payday too. Edgar Berlanga. Get him Edgar Berlanga, man. I think that's a winnable fight. I think that, you know, he can get paid. You know, I just think he needs to be focused, and he'll give Edgar all he can handle. You know what I'm saying? You know, what you think about that, though?
I don't know, man. I don't know if he.
You think Edgar might be a little
second fight? Not for a second fight back. I don't know, man.
Okay.
And I'm not. It's not that I'm high on Berlanga. It's just that. But for someone like Jamal Charlo, he has to continue to fight on a high level, but he has to get there. Like you got to gradually move him there. And being hit by Jose Benavidez, he took some. The thing is, he's always been a tough guy with a hard chin, but he did take some shots from Jose Benavidez, and regardless of how overrated I think Edgar Berlanga can be, getting hit by Jose Benavidez and getting hit by Edgar Berlanga with the same shots is different.
It's different. Yeah, I'm sure it is his first fight in 3 years. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that he'll be able to take some mustard off some of those shots that Berlanga throw, because Berlanga is more like, you know, when those big punches are coming. That's the reason why once he upped his level of opposition, it's harder for him to get knockouts because he's winging all of those wide shots. I don't know, because I don't know what can you do with him there. If he, at this particular point, to me, if he can't beat Berlanga, will he ever be able to beat Berlanga? You know, Berlanga might get a little bit better. You know, he might. We don't know what his mental health situation. You know, so it's hard to say. I just think that, like, if you're trying to get you some bread, you know, you don't want to be around too much longer. I don't know what his situation is. To me, that's a direction that I would think. Because who else is out there that's going to be Jose Benavidez-ish? You know what I'm saying? Like, who else do you have out there? Because they really going to try to put that Plant fight on you. Before I get a Plant, I need somebody a little bit stiffer than this, a little bit more dangerous than this. And I don't know. We'll see. But, you know, hats off to him getting back in the ring, getting some of the cobwebs off, but also on that fight card, which was pleasing, man. It was a good way for Showtime to go out. And then also the punch test. My bad. Let me go ahead and go through these real quick. So as far as Charlo, he, you know, jabbed a lot. 116, he landed to 21. Benavidez is not a jabber. When it came to the power shots, 127 to 65. You know, that's an amazing 46% clip that he landed at. Total punches, he kind of dog walked him. You know what I'm saying? When you look at these numbers, it wasn't even close. So shout out to him. You know what I mean? As far as the numbers are concerned, he did what I expected him to do. And I thought that Benavidez did what I expected him to do as well, as far as having the toughness, the machismo, you know, not trying to quit at all, you know, at any particular moment. Got stunned a few times, but he kept coming back like a true warrior. You know, and that's what you get from a David Benavidez or Jose Benavidez, or both Benavidez, I should say. Also on undercard, you had Ergashev. He was fighting against Matias, man. That was a goodie, you know, from what I saw. You call a man a quitter, so I'm gonna go ahead and get a floor to you, man. Go ahead calling these quitters, man.
So when this fight started off, I was like, man, Ergashev a problem. Like, I think Matias seemed overwhelmed at first, like, man, this dude does hit hard. And it seemed like Matias was a little more reluctant to throw some shots or even throw counter punches. Ergashev was backing him up early, you know, I think it was the first 2 or 3 rounds. But then something happened, just that Ergashev just slowed down instantly, like at one point, and it happened really like fast, like. And once he slowed down, it's almost like he was a front runner. And I think his career going forward is going to be different, because now people are going to see like this person is one of those guys who can dish it, but he can't take it. But then again, this is also Matias, who is like all his victories has come by knockout. And once he started cooking, he never took that pot off the stove. And you can see when the facial expressions of Ergashev just started changing. He started getting worse and worse and worse. And then I think it was the 6th round, where in the corner he said his leg was hurt. He was telling Strickler Hill that his leg was hurt and that he couldn't continue. I'm still on the fence about the leg injury. I'm not sure. But yeah, he just packed it in. You know, once he started feeling that power, he was like, I don't want no more. No mas. That's what I saw in this fight.
Yeah. What about you, Ty? What you see, man?
Yeah, like the first round, like 2 rounds, I definitely gave it to Ergashev. Like, as soon as the first round started, it looked like Ergashev hit Matias with a shot. It looked like Matias like backed up into the ropes. It looked like he was gonna go down. But like Matias didn't really do anything offensively in that first round. I guess he was just maybe trying to feel Ergashev out. But yeah, Ergashev, he definitely has pop in his punches. You know, his record speaks for itself. Like, you could actually hear the shot. So I was like, we're definitely in for a fight. And like by round 3, Matias, he just started coming on strong. You know, just throwing shots. You know, but the thing is, his punches don't really look like they hurt. But you know, he throws so many of them just over time. It's probably just breaking your body down. And I think that's what happened to Ergashev. He just started filling them shots, and then he looked like he started to fatigue. So like, hats off to both guys. I knew the fight wasn't going to go the distance. You know, I had the pleasure of seeing Matias fight live last year. He's definitely a Puerto Rican warrior, and I definitely see a good future for him. And I hope Ergashev can come back from this. You know, it's just one loss to a power puncher, so he's still got a lot to offer to the sport. So I definitely want to see both of these guys back in the ring next year for sure.
You use the Q word when it comes to Ergashev, like Vail is tossing around in this episode. Would you consider him a quitter?
Hey, you gotta agree with me.
I'm just asking. You know, Vail's throwing this word out there. You know, that's a strong claim. You know what I mean? So I just want to see what you think.
When you compare him to Andrade, I think it was different. It was definitely different.
So you said it's 2 quitters on the card. So
no, I never said Andrade quit. See, you keep. Yeah. I never said Andrade was a quitter. I said Andrade looked to his right. He was beat up bad. He looked to his right, and he told his father stop it. And then his corner, the guy to the left behind him was like, look to the left and said stop.
That's even worse. He telling his daddy. You understand what I'm saying? Like
trainer. I'm like, the reference in his corner. Really?
All right, Ty. I mean, yeah, Ty. What did you think? Do you think Ergashev's a quitter like Vail thinks?
I don't think he's a quitter. I just think Matias just power is next level, man. He's got all knockouts in all of his fights. He stopped everybody. So maybe, like I said, over time, he he just felt those punches and he just couldn't continue. But everybody has different injuries. Everybody deals with it differently. You know what I mean? So I said Matias, man, he's like RoboCop, man. His power is just different, man.
He said leg injury, so he got hit so hard he broke his leg. That's
well,
a hard puncher.
Here's the thing, man. If you don't fight him, if you don't plan on like making it all the way through, then stay out of the ring with the man, because the man is serious. He's serious business. Now, as far as, because again, this fight, I'm sitting up there talking to my boy, and I'm trying to tell him about Matias. My thing was going into the fight, I'm like, it's like 3 or 4 champions that they got out here. He's one of them. You got Rolly, so on and so forth, right? And I'm like, they're gonna have this boy fight all the killers, and by the time he starts showing like slippage, then that's when they're gonna want to fight him. You know what I mean? Like, they got hit every time I'm looking up. He finds somebody who got power, or he got somebody who, he's good over there. We just don't know. But then they test him out against Matias, and I'm like, come on, man! Like, no, fight Matias. You know what I mean? Grab his belt and don't wear the man out fighting all of these monsters, man. But so my boy is like, man, I think the other dude better than Matias. I'm halfway watching, and I do see the dude has power. He reminds me, that dude right there, Ergashev, of a fighter back in the day who used to campaign at 130, who used to fight dudes like Casaman or Acelina Freitas. That's who he remind me of, man. And Acelina Freitas was known to quit too, when the going got tough. But
Juan Diaz.
It's one of those. It's 1 or 2 fights that he had.
Juan Diaz that he quit against.
It was more than that. Now he had the propensity to quit. But for the first 6 rounds, he was knocking dudes' heads off, or he was very competitive. But then he started to get a little bit tired once he started upping the level of his opposition. Yeah. And then the same stuff that you saw, like, he'll start trying to box after a while. I'm like, dude, I ain't never seen Acelina Freitas trying to box like this. He'd be so tired. You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
he did that against Diego Corrales. He was doing well, and then Corrales started cracking him and took him out.
That's what I'm saying. So Acelina Freitas Ergashev, he's doing the same thing.
So you call him a quitter too, Will?
Well, you convinced me, sir. You convinced me. But it was a good scrap, man. It was a good way to start things off. I was impressed with the card. Even the Charlo fight, I mean? I think that he got what it is he needed to get out of the fight. And outside of, you can make the claim Ergashev quit, but what you can't do is not say that the man wasn't, putting some hurt on Matias, before whatever it is you consider him doing once the fight ended. So it was a good fight, as long as it lasted. I thought the Charlo fight was good as long as it lasted. Boo Boo Andrade doesn't have anything to hang his head about because he performed. He just was fighting against somebody who, did what he does. And that's like kind of mow you down a little bit and take you out. So I thought all in all, it was an excellent card. What would you give this card before we go into another fight card? You guys may have not seen the fight, but I do want to touch on the Katie Taylor and Cameron fight, because I do think that what Katie Taylor did yesterday was very impressive. It adds on to her already impressive resume, where you can say that she's the greatest female boxer of all time based on her, not just accolades, but more so resume, you know what I mean? And the caliber of opposition that she's been facing. So I'm gonna touch a little bit on that. But as far as from A to F, what would you give the Showtime farewell card yesterday?
I give it a B. I would give it a B. And Will, don't ever disrespect the GOAT like that, man.
I said you can make the case, sir. I don't think I didn't say it. You can make the case.
All right.
You can make the case.
I got you.
What about you, Ty?
I think it was one hell of a card. I think it was an awesome card, to be the last pay-per-view card of the year for Showtime. But we all make mistakes, and I've seen them make some mistakes. When they had Andrade and Benavidez, they had Jose Benavidez picture up there. And they made a mistake with that. And then also I seen when Charlo was fighting Jose, they had 12 rounds, but it was a 10-round fight. But that changed as the rounds went on, because I was looking at it, I was like, I thought this was a 10-round fight, but but they had 12 rounds up there. But other than small mistakes, man, I give it an A+, man. I think it was one hell of a card, despite the stoppages, the quits and all that. But to me, that was one hell of a card, one way to go out with a bang for Showtime pay-per-view for the last one.
Whoa, Ty, you said quits. You put an S on that. You didn't say quit, man. What's up with that, man? What you saying, man?
You said quit too, man. But hey,
I will
add,
quits.
I will add, Bill, to follow up what you said. I will add, like, we all know that Gamboa was washed up, and when he fought Tank, he had a bad leg, back foot, and he dished it out with Tank until he could. So he definitely showed the warrior in him. But yeah, like Ergashev, man, like I said, all I seen was him just fatiguing. And like I said, I just think he just felt those power shots from Matias.
Okay, to your point about the production quality, they already started laying some folks off, man. And that's how you done. You don't come back.
Yeah, man. But all in all, I thought that it was a solid A. How I judge a card in this comparative, in the comparisons to typical fight cards. You look at the Regis program and Devin Haney fight card is whack. It's whack like the old Hancock movie. You understand what I'm saying? When you look at like some of the Canelo cards, it's like this top heavy. It's like a cold fight. And then next thing you know, the Spence Crawford card. I didn't think that was as good as this one. You understand what I'm saying? So in comparison, I have to give it an A. You know what I mean? Because it was solid 3 fights that you had. And I like the matchmaking because you could have put Charlo in there with somebody a little bit more sturdy, but then you run the risk of, doing some damage to him as far as his development and getting back. So, I just thought it was a good quality card. A from my end. Yesterday, Katie Taylor, she defeated Chantel Cameron back in the UK, I believe. The fight, I'm finishing up watching it right now. A couple of things that I'm going to put up here is the punch stats, where you see at the bottom here, Katie Taylor landed 6 more total punches. Cameron was a little bit more accurate. Cameron landed more jabs. He landed 11 more jabs, 26-15. And then it was 57-74 power punches landed. So Katie Taylor landed, almost 20 more power punches. And that's where the fight was won. I thought in this fight, you had Taylor. I think the thing that she did much better was that she kind of smothered Cameron's action based on what I saw. So I was looking at the highlights while you guys were talking. Yeah, the fight was in Dublin yesterday. And she got revenge and won a 10-round majority decision. And the thing is, and the reason why I say that you can make the case for her, again, the level of opposition that she's been facing, now the Guo is done some very great things as well, because she had her dance partner, when it came to Marshall. So, but, you got to factor in, now Marshall wasn't on the same level as Serrano, though. You follow what I'm saying? So you got the Serrano wins. She got the Pursunes wins. Like, those are like top, at the time, like 5 pound-for-pound fighters that she's facing. And she's going up against this young lady right here at her age. And she ended up winning that. And not only is she the undisputed champion at 140, she also holds the undisputed crown at 135 as well, which is, these are some pretty stacked divisions. You understand, as far as women boxing is concerned. So all in all, like I say, just based on what I've seen in the fight, as far as the highlights, I like the adjustment that she made. The last fight, she was more willing to exchange at further distances. This fight, she kind of smothered what Cameron wanted to do, and Cameron never really was able to make the adjustments. And I thought that she was winning the rounds very close, but she was, finishing up strong. But shout out to her, man, for even putting herself in a situation to be able to do such a outstanding feat. You guys have anything to say about Simply the Best, Katie Taylor, before I go into our prediction for next week's fight?
Yeah. I just want to congratulate her for avenging that loss. I don't think she was even though we know what Kaylee Taylor is, I didn't think she was favored to actually win the rematch. Well, favored heavily, if anything. So it definitely was a milestone victory, and it puts her in the top tier of women's boxing still.
Mm-hmm. So, you got any thoughts on the great
Yeah.
Katie?
Yeah, I'll say hats off to both women, and they put up one hell of a fight. Now I will say I don't agree with the decision. I felt it leaned more towards a draw, and I say that because like the referee ruled when Katie Taylor went down, the referee ruled it a slip. Now I watched it over and over and over. A lot of people felt that uh, Cameron stepped on Taylor's foot, but like if you watch it closely, it didn't look like she stepped on her foot. It looked like she just caught her with a flush punch and he went down. So I considered that being a knockdown. So and then as the rounds went on, it just looked like Katie Taylor, she was starting to clinch a lot, and Cameron was constantly putting her arms up, complaining to the refs. So to me, it just seemed like she had a real uncomfortable fight. And on top of that, she had a bad cut on her head, and she fought through that. So, but hats off to the ladies, man. One hell of a fight. They definitely put on a better fight than Shakur Stevenson and De Los Santos. So, hats off to the women, giving the fans a good fight. But I do not agree with the decision. I just feel that it should have been a draw. But hopefully we can see a trilogy. But Katie Taylor, she does one hell of a job to be 37 years of age.
Sir, did you ever see Michael Jordan and the Brian Russell shot that he made to help defeat the Utah Jazz? I want to say it was 97 or 98. Did you see that last shot that Jordan made on Brian Russell?
Nah.
Bill, did you see that shot?
I don't remember it. I'm pretty sure I did when it happened.
Some people say he pushed off. Some people say he pushed the dude off and then he hit the shot. Jordan retires. That's the shot everybody remembered until he came back and was flabby and sick when he played for the Wizards. Now, the point I'm trying to make, your regular average, everyday average player, that's a push-off. But that's Michael Jordan. You understand what I'm saying? So with Katie Taylor, she gets dropped, you got to make sure that she got dropped. You understand what I'm saying? Like with Katie Taylor, you got to drop her. She got to fall down. She got to have her mouthpiece on the ground. She got to be shivering, and then the referee is going to, take a look, pour some water on her, and all that type of stuff. And then that's a knockdown.
That's like A+ side right there.
That's a knockdown. Now, you over there in her home country, you're not going to get that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I say I factor all of those type of things in when I'm judging my fights. You understand what I'm saying? So shout out to Katie Taylor, simply the best. Yeah, man, if we really being honest, I don't think she beat Pursuance in that first fight. But she was fighting Pursuance. Pursuance was a monster. But, we'll keep moving on. Shout out to Simply the Best. All right, so let's go ahead and make this prediction for next week's fight that's coming up. You got Ryan Garcia. He's a more favorite than that. I didn't take the odds off from the Benavidez fight. But anyway, he's going to be fighting Oscar Duarte next week. You got Ryan Garcia. He's coming in 23 wins, 1 loss, which was to Tank Davis. We all know that Ryan should have won that fight. You understand what I'm saying? But you came in with a little rib injury. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt. But he got 19 big KOs. This is a pretty tall kid. I think he's a little bit taller than 5'8.5", but that's what they have on here. 70-inch reach, fighting out of Los Angeles. Like I say, 25 years of age, goes by the moniker of King Rock. Shout out to my man Ryan Garcia. He's going to be facing this dude who has no chance of defeating my boy King Rock. He's making a bold statement, though. This 5'9" guy with the 71-inch reach from Mexico, 27 years of age, 26 wins, 21 big KOs, 1 loss, 1 draw. He's saying that he's going to win this fight. He's going to beat Ryan Garcia, which we all know need to be looked at for like mental health issues if he really thinks that he's going to do that, because we know that that's impossible. Ryan Garcia is one of the top boxers in the world. Just had a little minor setback against Gervonta Tank Davis. What do you guys think is going to happen in this one? Do you like obviously you like Ryan Garcia. When do you think he's gonna knock this bum out?
I don't know, man. I watch a little bit of Darte's fights. I don't know if it's gonna be easy. You know what I'm saying? I even give Ryan props for even, taking this fight coming off of Gervonta Davis. I think for Ryan, and you know what? Ryan has my respect, and this is why. Right now, this is why. Because he could have got somebody who can't punch, or this is a guy who could give him trouble, but he doesn't have the name value. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing is that the only thing to overcome is Ryan Garcia's speed and his pop, because he got a lot. He's like a snake. So I think a lot of it would depend on how Duarte can deal with Ryan Garcia's speed. But also, I think there is opportunity for him to lay some leather on Garcia, because Garcia doesn't, even though he's fast and he can box, I don't think his IQ is the highest. Like, he doesn't come off to me as someone who's a counter puncher. He sets up that left hook, and that's it. So there's opportunities for Duarte to do some things. It's just that how Garcia will respond to it. So I think that Duarte may have some moments, probably around the fourth round. It depends really on how Garcia starts. If Garcia comes out blazing, he can get Duarte out of there in like 2 or 3 rounds. But if he's trying to like feel his way through, that's going to give Duarte too much opportunity to do things. Because Duarte does, when you're throwing punches at him, Duarte will put his hands up and he'll give you opportunities to land on the body and do all these different things, which for Garcia, it'll make it look very, very impressive and good. So, from what I think is actually going to happen, I think Duarte will provide some resistance in the 3rd or 4th round, while Garcia, still trying to get his mojo back. Then Garcia's going to take over. He's going to stop Duarte, I think, in the 8th round. So that's my prediction.
Yeah, this is a good fight. Hats off to Ryan Garcia for taking this fight. Coming off the Tank loss. Of course, he had stipulations against him in that fight, but this is it's a good fight. Duarte, he stopped Alex Martin, so this is a guy that has power, serious power. So it's a good scrap. And Ryan Garcia, man, he's got the speed. He got the hooks. He showed us that he can swim in deep waters. He came back from that Luke Campbell knockdown, and he ended up stopping Luke Campbell. So I'm expecting a good fight, but I think Ryan Garcia will come out with the victory, probably by a late stoppage or a decision. But I think he's gonna have some tough moments, and Duarte would get the best of him maybe early, but Ryan Garcia, he'll show us his toughness, and he'll get the stoppage or a late stoppage or a decision.
Got it. So yeah, the only concern for me with this fight is Duarte's height. It's 5'9", and he has pretty nice long arms too. And the reason why that is a red flag is the way Luke Campbell was able to catch Ryan slipping, and he was a taller type of fighter as well. That's the only thing. As far as everything else, you got my boy King. Right, look at it. He's putting together a pretty impressive resume there as well. The Luke Campbell, a lot of guys wasn't really looking to face Luke Campbell at that time. Took a little bit of time off, came back and fought to go. The always tough Javier Fortuna, he put away that gentleman in the 6th round. He was just way too much. Then, he had the setback. The only thing, like I say, the Gervonta Tank Davis fight, the man put the catch weight on him. You understand what I'm saying? And then Ryan come up in there, had a little injury, and Tank, got the best of him. Tank Crawford, you know what I'm saying? Trying to put a stipulation on somebody or trying to catch somebody when they're slipping, And so this guy right here, the thing that I look at, now he has a lot of KOs, right? A lot of KOs for this gentleman. But what I noticed with him is most of his KOs are a little bit later. You see, it's not like he's putting these dudes out like the first round or and whatnot, which lets me know that he's not like just a one punch guy. You know what I'm saying? And you see on here now he has some KOs. You know, a lot of these are TKOs and stuff like that. So that's the reason why I don't think that Ryan is going to be too much in jeopardy, you know, when it comes to him getting, you know, caught or anything like that. But I do think that Brian just has some world-class things that he brings to the table. It's going to be tough for Oscar Duarte. The main thing is going to be the speed. It's going to be the timing. You know, that left hook is top tier. You know what I mean? You can't, you know, like just ignore, you know, those sort of things. And I just don't think that this guy has ever faced anybody who has some of those world-class skills that Ryan brings to the table. Hopefully the work that he's doing with Derrick James is starting to pan out. He's starting to catch on to the little intricacies that he's trying to teach him. And hopefully he does get some rounds in, you know, just to test the waters and see, you know, am I learning the things that he's trying to teach me? And so for his sake, I hope it goes at least like 4 or 5 rounds, build that confidence up. And then next thing you know, boom, you know, he lands that signature left hook that puts this guy to sleep. So I'm going to say 5th round knockout for King Rye. The king is back. You know, the ruler's back. You understand what I'm saying? You get this victory, get him one more, put him in the top pound for pound. You understand what I'm saying? And then get that rematch against Old Tank. All right, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. You know, we're trying to get up there. I'm going to start putting more footage out there too. You know what I mean? I've been busy trying to, you know, moving and grooving and stuff like that. But now I'm gonna settle down. I told Vail for the next 2 weeks, you know, I'm just sipping my water. You know, I got a couple things coming up. I got my karaoke coming up on December 2nd. Then I got the chili cook-off December 6th. And then I'm going out there to Tijuana December 18th. But in between time, all of that, sipping my water, sea moss, eating good, you know, healthy, exercising, you know, that sort of thing. You know, you might mess around and see me. You know, Anthony Joshua might be my on the horizon. You understand the way I'm gonna be going ahead and carrying on. Understand me? So anyway, Ty, I know you know, but the listeners who may be listening for the first time, we like to go into our boxing news at the end of the program. You know, to finish things off. And so I got a hodgepodge of topics that I'm gonna throw out there and let you fellas, you know, have the floor to share out your thoughts on these particular topics. So the first thing is this. I was listening to Devin Haney and mainly Bill Haney. They saying after this Regis fight that they might be targeting Keith Thurman at 147. Dun, 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 at 147. What do you think, man? You think that he would have a legitimate shot? Keith Thurman name keep coming up in all of these different fights. Tank Davis, he's supposed to fight Barrios. He was supposed to fight Ugas. And like, but I don't see any signature. I don't see any date for Keith Thurman. And then he was supposed to fight Stanionis. You understand what I'm saying? Do you like this fight for Devin Haney?
I'll have to see how he deals with Prograis first. But if he deals with Prograis, I do like this fight. I don't like this fight for Keith Thurman because, I mean, people always look at it like he's bigger, but really he doesn't fight bigger. Plus, he tends to gas. He hasn't been healthy for a while. Like he's injury prone. I'm not sure that if Haney will have enough pop to really hurt Keith, but at this point, I think Keith is kind of on the downside a little bit. And plus, for Devin Haney, to be honest, I think if he goes from Prograis to Thurman, but leaves all those names at 140, you know, saying on the table, I think that's, to me, it's just doing a disservice to his career. Because then you're gonna go to 147, you're just gonna fight Thurman. Why don't you fight Boots then? You know what I'm saying? After that, then I mean, why keep?
That's tough, man. Like, man, come on, man. Like, that's tough for this young man that you are wanting to fight Boots. Like that.
If he going to 147, he says he's gonna campaign there. Yeah. Why? Well, okay. If he's not gonna fight Boots or Crawford or whoever, then stay at 140. Stay at 140. Fight those fights that people want to see, like Gary Antoine Russell, Teofimo Lopez, Tank Davis, Sabril Matias. So all these people is at 140. You're gonna go take a fight at Keith Thurman with Thurman.
All right, let me ask you this question, sir. You're at work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You at work. Now it's something that you could do this job over here and you can get paid what you regularly get paid. And you probably should do that job. But they say, well, you know what, Vale, if you come over here, we're going to pay you 3 times more to go ahead and do this over here. Would you do the job that, and the job that you would do regularly, it'll help out your coworkers a little bit more. But the other job that's paying more, you just going to get paid more doing it. Even though this job right here, you know, your coworkers might get a little bit behind on what it is that they are doing if you don't do this job. But you got the other option, getting paid way more to do something else. Which one would you do?
I'm gonna take the bread, but at the same time,
it's
not the same. It's not exactly the same. This is why. There's no way you're gonna get more money out of Keith Thurman than you got getting out of Tank. It's not gonna happen. It's not.
Tank is not fighting you, sir. You just said Gary Antoine Russell. It's nobody who I talk to who would know who the heck Gary Antoine Russell is. They just won't know. But it's just so happens some people are gonna know who Keith Thurman is. Like way more people. Yeah, you know Keith Thurman is coming back. Keith, the one that sold out over there, him and Danny Garcia, the one that was fighting Sean Porter, the one that fought Manny Pacquiao. It don't matter, sir. His name is more recognizable. You're gonna get more bang for your buck fighting a Keith Thurman than you will Gary Antoine Russell. I don't care how.
He can fight Ryan Garcia. He can fight. Hank can fight Ryan Garcia.
Who?
Haney can fight Ryan Garcia.
He wants that fight. Yeah, he wants that fight. But to me, that's another option. They said they're just targeting this guy. I'm saying if he does that, it makes a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? If he feels more comfortable at the higher weights and things like that, he's already been undisputed at 135. He's been trying to get Tank in the ring. Can't get Tank in the ring. He's taking on this challenge of fighting Regis Prograis, like who's one of the top guys, or if he's not one of the top guys, he's one of the most dangerous dudes at 140, that's for sure. So he's doing all of these things. He's doing way more on his resume than these other dudes are doing, man. Like, how come I can't go and get that bread messing around with Keith Thurman? What say you, Ty? Let's ignore Vail today, okay? Right now, at least for this topic.
Yeah, man. For me, I ain't interested in it. Like as Val says, so many names at 140. But I do want to ask you. So is Keith Thurman and Stan Onis not happening now?
I don't think so. It's Keith. I don't know. Even if it was, let's say for instance, the fight is happening, they could fight afterwards. You know.
Yeah, because I just checked bots, right, and I thought he was supposed to be fighting Stan Onis, but yeah, it don't look like that's happening now. So yeah, I mean, I ain't interested in, you know, I mean, Haney's been more active. This will be his second time fighting this year, and Thurman hasn't fought since Barrios. So, you know, Haney's very more active, and Thurman is not. So, and it's at 147. You know, of course, you know, Haney, when he fought, I believe it was Cambodia, of course, it looked like his cheekbones were sunken in, so he had to go up in weight. But 147 is another extra 7 pounds. So I mean, but that's not a fight that I would be interested in. But if he couldn't work out a deal with anybody else, and you know negotiations fall apart with all these other fighters, then I say make it happen. But yeah, that's not a fight I'm interested in, though.
All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next one, man. Shout out to Dev, man. Dev is daring to be great. You know, and speaking of that, Javante Tank Davis on social media again. He's showing off his money, still no opponent. You know what I'm saying? What do y'all think about that, though? Like, it's these dudes, like, I'm gonna let you. What do you think about that? The fact that Tank, he still doesn't even have an opponent coming up or anything like that. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Man, Tank fighting Adrian Broner next, man. That's exactly. He ain't worried. He gonna fight Adrian Broner and get that money. Tank, I don't know. Tank is a strange case, and this is why. I think he does these things, but as far as in the ring, he's not turning out to be as bad as some of the other guys that do the same things. Like, we've seen what's going on with Jamal Charlo. We've seen, you know, what's going on with Adrian Broner. You see, Davis, he does these foolish things, like, you know, getting in trouble outside the ring. But the thing is, it hasn't really caught up to him inside the ring. So,
but against who, sir? Who would take advantage of him of whatever it is he's doing outside the ring. Like, who has he fought that would really test him?
Ryan Garcia, they knocked out.
Talking about the one that he put a catch weight on. The dude who really was already, he should have just fought him. That he put a little catch weight on him. You talking about him, the green guy? That was supposed to. Okay, I get it. It's a sad day in boxing. What do you think? This is your guy right here, Ty. Talk to us, man. What do you think about?
I'll say I seen his coach just say that they had something in the works. I just remember him saying that. I don't know what it is, but like you said, we still don't have no official announcement. So I don't know. At one point I kept hearing Isaac Cruz rematch. Personally, I don't want to see that. He had a hurt hand and he still got the victory. And of course, we know Isaac Cruz didn't look so good, when he fought on the Spencer Crawford undercard, I believe he didn't look so good. So I mean, that's not a fight I want to see, but yeah, man, I don't know, man. Tank's got a team, he's got a boss, so we just keep our fingers crossed and hope it's somebody big. Well, I don't think it would be somebody big, but my gut still tells me that it could be like the Isaac Cruz rematch, but that's not something I want to see.
Two things that I'll say in regards to this topic. First and foremost, these dudes just doing themselves a disservice, man. Like, I still think that he's a little green, slightly, because you just don't know. He's boo-boo Andrade in it, where he's fighting dudes that you already know what the outcome is going to be. Sort of, he's fighting the other Garcia. Like, every time he fights him, it's like, I know already what's gonna happen. Well, like, why didn't you fight this dude right here? Now you talking about Devin. That's why I say, Devin, you do what you want to do, bro. Like, you dudes that don't really want to fight you. You taking on dudes in their own country who's putting stipulations on you. You went ahead and doing that sort of thing where they should be doing it, or at least attempting to fight those guys. You fought Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? You sitting up here going to fight one of the toughest dudes at 140 in your first fight at 140. I can see him doing stuff that these dudes are doing once or twice because he already put in work. This is crazy, man. Like, he needs more fights. Like, he needs to be more active. He needs to be on his game. You know what I mean? Like, this is an opportunity for him, and he has so many eyes on him. People love Tank Davis. This is the time to set your damn family up for life, brother. Like, you need to go ahead and harness everything and take advantage of all these opportunities that are there. What they're doing is this. He's going to take the time off. Then when he comes back, he's going to take a bum, and then they're going to be like, well, this is comeback fight because he's been off so-and-so. And then he's like, dude, you ain't fighting nothing but tune-ups. Like, then that's going to be the excuse, man. I'm sick of it, but I understand the game, and that's how they're going to play it. People going to respect it. Oh, yeah, well, he has been off for 8 months, so he needs to go ahead and fight Javier Fortuna. You're like, oh, my, come on, dog. But anyway, man.
Let me add something. I just want to add, we know Floyd was in his career so long. We know he's got Heyman. And I just had this thought in my head that if you look at Heyman's cash cows, it was Errol Spence. Errol Spence took a beating. I'll say Wilder. Throw Wilder in there. Wilder took some bad beatings. So I just feel in my heart they're seriously just trying to protect Tank and just don't want to lose it. If he takes a loss, then who's the next best fighter under Al Heyman. So it's a lot of thoughts I have in my head that they just seriously trying to protect Tank. And of course, Mayweather, as he turned into Money Mayweather, he's always on the A side. I want all the advantages. To me, that's just what they're doing with Tank. He had the clauses against Ryan Garcia. He had the clauses against Barrios. So to me, they're just trying to protect him for some reason. They're just trying to protect him and keep that zero from keep that zero perfect, man. Keep that perfect record. That's just how I look at it, man. But I do agree. Everybody wants to see Tank, with the likes of all those good names that he could possibly fight.
He's not the only one. Like, Tank benefited from having Floyd, and it's a couple things that he's got, and it's just gonna keep him popular. We got the Floyd stamp. You understand what I'm saying? He has that devastating knockout power. He's a little dude. You know, people kind of they like seeing a little dude knocking out bigger dudes. You understand what I'm saying? That's more charming to see. He's a charming personality. You know what I'm saying? He got some good things. I'm just saying, well, I'm not gonna say that. I really, to be honest with you, Tank, just keep doing what you're doing, sir. You know what I mean? Like, all I'm saying is what he should do in addition to what it is he's doing, because he's getting away with it. He can fight Isak Cruz. He might be able to even fight Rolly again, and people are going to be entertained by that. It'll sell well. He might be able to do that. I'm just saying, like, right now, good brother, take advantage of this. Like, at least be more active where you can go ahead and reap the benefits while you can. That's all I'm saying. You know, but you just squandering this opportunity, man. And you're gonna be one of them dudes who's gonna be back in Baltimore if you don't stop it. Like, you can't, like, you need to be active in harnessing your skills, you know, or they become stale. Buzz says he got 2 fights left in him, man. He want that Spence smoke. You know, we know Spence gonna go ahead. Well, he may not get Canelo after Spence whoop on him in a rematch. You understand what I'm saying? But outside of that, he want Canelo. You know, what do you think about this exit strategy by your boy Bud Crawford?
I mean, I doubt he's going to exit. I mean, fighters always say when they're going to retire, and then they never do. They hardly ever follow that. I mean, I remember Floyd saying after the first Oscar De La Hoya fight, after the Carlos Barnum fight, that he was going to take one more fight, and that was it for him. He took about 10 or 11 more fights. So, as far as a rematch with Spence, hey, bring it on. A lot of people say, you know, Spence was weight drained. Derek James in the interview posted by Boxing Scene, he rejected that weight cut was the main reason behind Spence's disappointing performance. Mm-hmm. He said, quote, "You'll see him in the rematch. He won't be so drained. He won't be so depleted or whatever." But he said, you know what? That wasn't the issue. Crawford fought a good fight. Crawford had a great game plan. So you're talking about this coach. He was the better guy that night. He's talking about Bomac.
Mm-hmm. That's just man stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's been plenty of times when I can tell you the truth in terms of what happened, but I'm not going to do it because it's just man stuff. So shout out to Derek James for being a true stand-up guy. That's all. What about you, Ty? What do you think about this exit strategy by this dude right here who always trying to get the advantage on his opponents?
I can see him fighting Spence, of course, because that was in the contract for the rematch to happen. But the Canelo thing, we all know that Canelo is one of the best, fought all the top names. And I guess he just like trying to do that like for his legacy. But I mean, that's a serious weight jump. And are they gonna try to work out like a catch weight thing? But Spence, of course, I want to see, but Canelo, man, that's just not a fight I want to see, man. I think he just should stay around 147, 154. Take on the likes of, Boots, Tim Tszyu, any of those guys at 154, even Jamel Charlo. So I mean, Spence, yeah, but Canelo, nah, that's not a fight I want to see. But he is what, 35, 36. So he's mentioned before that he's not going to be around the sport much longer. So I mean, but he can do what he wants with his career, man. He's the one guy in his career, and like he can do what he wants. But I mean, I'm not interested in Canelo.
Listen, man, who's gonna outmaneuver the other guy? They both do the same thing. I just think Canelo's more justified in what it is he do because he's been doing it for so long. He has fought the Lauras, he's fought the Mayweathers, he's fought, and he's that number one cash cow still as we speak. So you can do a little bit more maneuvering for me, my taste. As far as Bud is concerned, he can't do that to Canelo as far as, if he wants Canelo and he said he wants Canelo, then it's going to have to be on Canelo's terms. Canelo's too far in the game to be like, oh, I'm going to catch weight this. No, you want this smoke, you come up here and get this work. That's what it's going to be. And you take this money I'm giving you. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be that sort of thing. So he ain't going to have like somebody who's going to be a dang on bull-minded. No, I got to fight him, and I'm going to stick around and fight him. And you sitting up here like draining yourself to still trying to make this negotiation with this dude who's been doing all this nonsense. Canelo not gonna take it. You take this or leave it. And then you get up in the ring at 168. I'm gonna smoke you. You understand what I'm saying? You're gonna get what you asked for, and then we're gonna see what's up. We're gonna see who the real deal Holyfield is, and that's me. That's Canelo Alvarez. Once I smoke you, I might fight David Benavidez if I want to. I might not. I don't know. I might just go back to Guadalupe Jalisco and mess around out there because I'm Canelo, chump. You know, sit up here and be calling me out. And I call you out. I dictate terms. But anyway, that's how I think Canelo be thinking sometimes. But anyway, last few things, man. Tyson's Fury's father, he's worried about, you know, you got the big fight coming up. Was that December? It was whenever they about to fight, maybe February. I don't know. Whenever it's coming up, he's worried about his son, Tyson Fury's decline in his fighting style. Do you see anything in Tyson Fury that indicates that he might not be the same physically and mentally after those Wilder fights?
Man, I don't see a decline, and I see a decline in discipline. You know what I'm saying? The dude's not, Tyson Fury is not respecting the game, man. That's just period, man. I mean, he ain't training. You know what I'm saying? He ain't out there getting that work and sparring and doing things and eating right and living healthy. You know, things that will prolong your career. You can't take a fight and then, you know, say you 400 pounds, you have to stump around jogging and trying to lose weight. All that stuff is weight on your joints, man. You know what I'm saying? I gained 10 pounds, man. I feel it on my joints when I go for a jog. So I know it's a big difference when somebody is doing all that stuff, heavy, you know, throwing those heavy loads around. So I think for him, it's just for Tyson Fury, it's just mentally and physically getting him there. You know what I'm saying? That's his decline. It's not more so a decline in skills or that you know what I'm saying, age or anything like that. I mean, it's possible, but it's not going to be that drastic. Like with Canelo has declined, but it's not drastic. You know why? Because Canelo takes care of himself outside the ring. He's not here, you know, drinking beer and getting a big beer belly and doing all this other stuff.
Canelo partying a lot more now than he ever had. Like,
maybe, but you ain't showing it the way Tyson Fury is showing it. You don't see Canelo blowing up to 270 pounds at 5'8". You know what I'm saying?
Well, can I say something, sir? And I'm gonna turn it over to you, Ty. Here's one thing though, that we must recognize is that there's always been a cloud over Tyson Fury surrounding him when it comes to mental health. Like that's always been something there, and you don't know if that's been exacerbated by the brutal fights that he had with Deontay Wilder, too. You know, or is just something that as he gets older that is rearing his ugly head even more. You know what I mean? So when he comes in heavy, when he says these outlandish things, you know, I don't know how much of that is him just, you know, an antic, or is it really, you know, psychologically, you know, there's something that's hampering him. And then his performance, you know, in this past fight, it could be he just didn't take the dude serious, or it could be a decline. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, this is an interesting topic to me, because you never want to, like, when somebody has mental health issues, kind of like ignore it. You know what I mean? So that's
he's always had mental health issues. We talking about in the Klitschko fight, this dude showed up wearing a Batman costume to the press conference. He's always kind of been that way. And he blew up way after that.
Right. And they said that he was having some mental health. That's, remember, before the Wilder fight. That's the reason why they were, you know, he was trying to kind of coaching them and helping them. Like, that's why Wilder felt that connection with Tyson Fury, you know, while he was getting himself back, you know, together psychologically. But what say you, Todd?
Yeah, I don't think he's declining. You know, yes, he was knocked down by Andrade. But Inigo, he's a fighter himself, you know, in MMA, he's a fighter himself. But him getting dropped by Inigo, I believe a lot of people feel like that he's not himself because of that. But we've seen Tyson Fury drop before, not just by Wilder, but he was even dropped by Steve Cunningham years ago. But, you know, I do think the fights with Wilder could have taken a lot out of him. No other heavyweights been in there with Wilder 3 times. And, you know, But this is the guy that beat Wilder 2 times, you know. And Wilder's in way better shape than Fury, and Fury still got him out there in the second fight and in the third fight. And then, of course, his fight with Dylan White, he stopped Dylan White. You know, he stopped Derek Chisora. So I don't think there's a decline. Now he's fighting Usyk, you know, who's you know, considered one of the best heavyweights now. So I don't think it's a decline. You know, we'll see what happens in the Usyk fight. I still believe he's one of the top heavyweight fighters out there. So I don't think it's a decline now.
You got anything else, Bill?
No, sir.
So y'all just ignoring this man cry out for help, you know. But
hey man, they got professionals for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna act like it's not gonna. I'm not a person that lacks compassion. You know what I'm saying? I deal with anxiety and things of that nature, but you know what else? I go get help for it too. You know what I'm saying? And plus, on top of that, I still have to go to work and do the things that gives me anxiety. You know what I'm saying? I hate, you know, leading meetings and doing stuff like that. I get real anxiety, but I do them because it's my job. I will myself there. You know what I'm saying? I keep myself disciplined when I'm not working. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something I struggle with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but let me ask you this question. Before those meetings, have you ever been hit with 3 fights with Deontay Wilder? In addition to what the anxiety that you have?
No, because he hit me, I'll wake up the next week.
Exactly. So.
With $20 more million, but yeah.
All right, so I'm going to bypass this right here. You also wanted to discuss the Jermell vacating his 154-pound title, and so those two gentlemen you see there are likely to fight for the belt. What are your thoughts on Charlo giving up and vacating his IBF strap?
I guess it's made his intention not to go back down to 154. The interesting thing is you see how the IBF is handling it is that they're fighting for the title. They're not going to gift it to Bakaram, who is actually in IBF ranking is the #1 contender. That's his, you know, Charlo's mandatory. They just gift him the title like they did, you know, Boots. And I'm not saying this is a knock on Boots, because if somebody says you're a champion now, Boots will be stupid to turn that down. But at the same time, I think they should have had Boots fight the #2 guy or #3 guy for that title, and they didn't do that. So in Jermell Charlo's case, I think maybe his attention to, because they always said with the Charlo brothers, they always had this pact that if one moves up, the other one move up. So I guess Jermell will be at 168, and maybe Jermell is moving to 160. Maybe that's the thought behind it. It's interesting that and maybe because I'm not sure if I see Jermell fighting Tim Tszyu right now, right after the Canelo fight. I just don't see it right now. Could happen, but I just don't.
Let me jump in, Ty, real quick. This is what this is. What this is who the fuck is Bakaram, Murtala, whatever he is? Like Jermell Charlo coming off of Canelo, you trying to force me to fight that dude? Man, I'm not fighting him. Like, what? Why? Why? So if it's that serious, then let them fight for the belts. You know what I mean? And then I might, if I want my belts back, then I might get it later. Right now, I'm on a campaign to get paid. You understand what I'm saying? And so I'm looking for the most lucrative fights that's out there. And it ain't no background. You understand what I'm saying? You can have that belt. Them belts just collect dust. You know, ain't nobody beat me at 154 for no belt. If I want to go over there and fight Tim Tszyu, if the money's right, I go out there to Australia and smoke him. It ain't no biggie. You know? Shoot, I might go to 160. Anybody want some smoke there? Shoot. I might go back to 168. I might go to 154 and whoop on that little punk, you know, Bud Crawford if I want to. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm just telling you what Charlo was thinking. He's not worrying about no. And then you said Boots. At least we know Boots. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to get Deuce in the ring with Boots. Boots, he put a little work in. You know what I mean? He's a kind of a boogeyman kind of guy. You understand what I'm saying? So I can see them giving him a belt. Not no dang on Beckham, though. Like, no, you have to fight for the belt, man. You don't even supposed to be #1, really. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact that we gave you, we gave this ranking to you. You understand what I'm saying? Well, I'm not gonna tell you how you got the ranking because the handlers probably gave somebody some money for you to be number one. You know, you going too far for trying to let me give you the belt too, chump. You know, if I call Calcay, whoever he is, you understand? He probably paid to get where he at. You know, this is silly stuff, man. Ain't nobody worrying about no Beck Ram and no Jack Cacauley, you know. I don't even know why we talking about him. But Charlo, he not trying to fight these chumps, man. What do you say, Ty?
Yeah, I don't like that he vacated the belt, but I'm sure he's got a reason behind it. It's a business move, whatever the case may be. But I look at it like you worked hard to get those belts. You know what I mean? You got your your revenge against Tony Harrison and get that belt. You know, you stopped Rosario to get the belt. You ran it back with Brian Castano. So you worked hard to get those belts. You stopped all those guys and got your belts back. You know, became undisputed. So if I'm getting all these knockouts and stopping these champions, I want to hold on to my belts. But I'm sure he's got a reason behind it, and I don't know how all the sanction bodies work. Like as y'all just talked about, Boots getting a belt now, Crawford getting stripped and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know how it all works, but yeah, if I was a champion, I was undisputed, I want to hold on to my belts, man. That's just my take on it.
I feel you. You know, like I said, to me, after I got them, all of them sanctioning fees, and then it's a certain level of respect. You know, you telling me I get this opportunity to fight Canelo. You know, I'm jumping at that opportunity because I've been trying to fight Canelo at 154. You know, back then. Now I get the opportunity to be on that type of stage. You know, making that type of bread. I think I earned that. You know, and you trying to force my hand to fight this dude right here, that just ain't gonna cut it, buddy. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's a level of respect that go there too, and it's also monetary. Like the man is about 33. You know, now it's time to go ahead. I did that. You know, as far as being undisputed champion at 154, the first one in the 4-belt era. You understand what I'm saying? You can't take that away from me. I guess you can. You understand? You just took the IBF belt from me, but you can't take away the fact that I was that. You know, and then I got to sit up here, pay you to fight this dude that you forcing my hand to face. So yeah, I get it. You know, it's a couple ways to look at that. You know, but I'm with Mel on that, man. I ain't fighting no dang on Baccarat, whatever the dude name is. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, man. I like the episode time, man. Certainly appreciate you stopping through, man. I needed that, you know, because after that long trip that I took out there to the DR. Ty, you ever been out there before?
Where?
To Puerto Plata or Dominican Republic.
Nah, I've never been there.
Oh man, that's paradise, good brother. It's paradise, man. I'm looking to go back real soon, but I got a trip coming up to Tijuana, you know, for a couple, I mean, about 5 days. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But after that, I'm going back to the DR now. Mm-hmm. But anyway, man, anything we fellas got in closing, man?
No. Go ahead, Ty.
Well, I was just gonna say, I don't know if you guys were familiar with Shaman, but if you were, no, I said rest in peace to him. You know, he lost his life over Thanksgiving. I believe it's Black Friday. They were saying he was shot and killed. And I've seen Shaman live a couple of years ago at an amateur card. So, rest in peace to him. You know, condolences, prayers out to his family, his loved ones. And I heard he's had a rough life because. I heard that he lost his brothers or his mother or something like that in a fire. So I mean, I don't have the whole story, but I just know that he had a rough life, and he made his way into boxing, and made a name for himself. But yeah, rest in peace to him. Condolences and prayers out to his loved ones, his family.
Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, he was out of Philadelphia, I believe, and I know he fought Brandon Lee at one point. So yeah, I did see some of that information. Very sad thing, especially to see a young brother lose his life, man, to all this senseless violence, man. And dude, I don't know what it is, man. Folks just want to pull that trigger instead of talking it out, man, and like men, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't even know who y'all talking about, but whoever it is, rest in peace. Unlike, like you say, the violence that takes place here on earth, it's unfortunate, that we still have that sort of type of activity that's going on. Certain things that need to be put in place as far as like gun laws and things like that. But we can go on and on about that. But the most important thing is like what you said, Ty. Rest in peace to that gentleman. And then also my condolences to his family, and anyone who's lost anyone, to gun violence or just lost, loved ones in general. And so on that note, we're going to close it out, Ty, man. As we proceed to go ahead and close this one out, if you can give everybody your social media, who may be tuning in for the first time, sir.
Yeah, I'm on the Instagram, The Legend 3347. Facebook is Todd Finney. Podcast, English Corner. You find me, just type in T Finney 3319. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, man. On that note, we're going to close this one out, man. Certainly appreciate you once again. Hopefully enjoyed the episode. On that note, we out. Peace.
Peace.
That stream right there.